What is going on with hiring right now? I feel like every week now there's a new layoff story. And as a person that worked in the games industry, I can tell you that there's at least 50 people applying for each job post at this point. I mean, how are juniors supposed to compete? How is such a thriving industry struggling right now? There's been a lot of acquisitions hitting the news in the billions of dollars. And at this point, it's well known that the games industry is worth more than the music and movie industry combined. This year, we brought $334 billion in revenue across the entire games industry. So let me ask again, why is it so complicated to find a job? Okay, but before we answer this question, let's go get some food. There are no bikes left, as usual. Can I get a chicken quesadilla, please? We're back with some good Chipotle. So here's the thing. Job demand has been increasing over the years. All the way from consoles to the rise of indies in the 2010s and now the pandemic boom. Studios have been growing and they've been hiring in mass. And to be honest, developers looking for a job have also increased in amounts. It's been fairly well balanced up until now. The issue comes from the last pandemic boom. In 2020, many industries struggled, but the games industry thrived, really. And that meant that studios were hiring in mass as their revenue was growing. And this is largely because people forgot that, reading books in this day and age was still a thing. As we can see on this chart from Statista, things were going well in 2020 for Bobby Kotick and the like. But what is that? In 2022, a drop? Well, just as people forgot they could read, they also remembered they had responsibilities in 2022. And that meant big revenue cuts. By the end of 2022, the tech industry was struggling as well. The metaverse NFT bubble had popped, and the games industry saw its biggest revenue dip in the last 2 decades. Although this quesadilla is not seeing its last dip of avocado, I'll tell you that. I'm sorry for that one. I'm sorry. This is precisely why we are stuck right now. Studios are frantically trying to cut costs and laying off senior developers, which means in turn that there's less studios hiring and there's a pool of qualified senior talent that is ready to grab the low-hanging junior positions. This probably affects you, and honestly, it affects me. As a person that is straight out of university, it feels a little bit hopeless right now. I spent so many years learning how to make games, acquiring key skills that I hoped would get me hired, only to enter the job market in the worst possible situation right now. But I think for us, there are options. For people that are seniors trying to find a job again, for juniors that are just trying to get a foot in the door. So there are three available options to us. First is to actively wait. Actively waiting means seeing this as an opportunity. It means choosing to take this massive amount of time and build a portfolio of game projects. Games take time to make. And the types of projects that will impress hiring managers also take time. Another way to actively wait is to find a low-paying job that will sustain you while you work on your portfolio. For option 2 and 3, senior people can benefit as well by using their already existing skills and job experience. So your second option is switching to an adjacent industry, one that could use art, coding, or project management. So those would include the music industry, any type of software development, and the advertising industry. And honestly, many, many more. Option number 3 is to simply stay in the industry. Yes, right now it may not be doing great, but it's not all doom and gloom everywhere. We indies often think of games as a very narrow bubble. Either it's a PC or console first title with a premium business model aimed at young to middle-aged gamers. But games are much broader than that. We have mobile free-to-play games, we have experimental VR titles, and most importantly, there are educational games. Serious games are part of this industry, and they have been faring very well against all of these budget cuts. Actually, they're thriving, and it's arguably a more direct way to help people. If you're just out of uni or about to graduate, please try to hold on. Stay strong. The games industry will absolutely recover. I expect it to be back to normal levels in the end of 2024. But now I want to hear what you have to say about all of this. What option are you going for? And should have studios anticipated these budget cuts? Thank you for your time, and subscribe if you want to hear more insightful commentary on the games industry and the craft of making games.